What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Summer Career Mode. This is episode number 88, and we start today's stuff on the back of our win over Real Sociedad. Great start to the season for Athletic. We're at 8 wins in 9 games, just a 1 defeat. We are still in second, chasing the undefeated Barcelona. We're only a point behind Xavi's side now. And in the Champions League as well, drawing away at Anfield on match day 1, beating Sporting Lisbon at home on match day 2. I've got to say, I was a little bit nervy heading into this game. Heading to the Czech Republic, taking on Victoria Pools, and they lost both of their first games against Liverpool and Sporting. And I said when the group was drawn, this is not going to be an easy one. With no disrespect to Victoria Pools whatsoever, you consider them the weaker side in the group, probably going to finish out with a wooden spoon, which means that if we are going to finish in one of those top 2 qualification spots, well, we simply cannot afford to slip up in either our 2 games against Victoria Pools. Have to bank both of those and get 6 points on the board for a possible 6. Heading into the game, don't know why I was worried. 11 minutes in, Eduardo Ceballos, Messi's regen, does it again. But for all the goals he scored this season, including a cracker against Sociedad in the last game, oh dear. I mean, it's the AI on Ultimate. They don't make many mistakes, but when they do, it's catastrophic. Yeah, what on earth was that? Shocking back pass. Put the goalkeeper in a heap of trouble. Ceballos is too quick, man. He's too quick. He's always going to win that ball. If you underhit a back pass, Ceballos is going to latch onto it with ease, which he does. Rounds the goalkeeper, back heels it in. A little bit cheeky, we'll take it. 1-0 Fleck, and then 12 minutes after the restart. Not a mistake from the host, but a simple goal for us. Working the ball inside from the right, and there is Ceballos with his brace. Pools 0, Atletico Madrid 2, and yeah, despite the mistake in the first half, really I was in control. It's one of those games where I felt as though if I really wanted to, I know it's going to sound quite arrogant, but I feel like if I really wanted to, I probably could have won this game by a lot more. In the end, I didn't feel like I needed to. You know, rest and rotation was going to be important for me. It wasn't a full strength side at the start of the game. I took off some of my starters during the game as well. And I think the stats here kind of tell the story. Like, I really feel we had a high XG, 11 shots, 0 shots on our goal. I really feel if I wanted to, I could have won that game by a few more goals. But you know, as we know in the Champions League, it goes head-to-head before goal difference if you're level on points. So, yeah, I mean, it could play into it. It could play into it. You never know. If we draw 0-0 against Liverpool in the second game, Metropolitano, and lose to Sporting in Lisbon by 3-1, then, yeah, it would come down to goal difference if we're tied with one of or both of those teams. But it's very unlikely. So, because of that, I didn't feel the need to burn my team out, really just go all out, gas them out for the weekend game against Betis. I thought I might as well sit on the 2-goal lead, which we did. Could have got a third, could have got a fourth. I'll take the 2-0 win though, and that means halfway through the group, it's us and Liverpool who remain tied with 7 points. Yep, they beat Sporting on match day 3, which means that right now Sporting have got to climb up the table on match day 4 and 5. That's a big one, match day 4 for Sporting. At the moment, if Liverpool can win that, because we're taking on Pools on match day 4 in a reverse fixture, if Liverpool win that and we avoid defeat to Sporting on match day 5, we will be going through. Still, yeah, second game of today's episode. Bit of a more difficult one, I'd say. This one, Real Betis at the Metropolitano. Great run for Atletico. We've won all of our La Liga games apart from that loss to Cadiz in the end of August. So hoping to extend our winning run here. Betis would take the lead, though we leveled 2 afterwards. No surprise for who got the goal. Eduardo Ceballos making it 1-1, and then right before the break, a minute to go before half-time, rolls through Kefren Thuram, and Thuram holds up nicely, finds João Felix, and I can always count on my dynamic duo up top. Yet when I signed Ceballos, I wondered whether he could work with João Felix, the Ronaldo and Messi-esque pairing, if you will, the Portuguese and Argentine forwards up top together. Yep, don't know what I was worried about. No problems whatsoever. Ceballos, our top scorer so far. That's João's 8th goal in 10. These two are just unbelievable. With Kefren getting a more advanced role in this team since leaving Inter Milan. Chipped in with a couple of goals already and a couple of assists as well. There's another one, sets up Felix, and the game turned on its head. We led by a goal at the break. Second half begins, 20 minutes to go. We're leading by a goal and then extend it to 2. Really turn the game on its head. João Felix makes it 3-1. Another goal for our number 7. At the moment, he and Eduardo are having their own kind of race for the Golden Boot. You love to see it. At the moment, it's looking likely these two will be the top 2 scorers in La Liga, let alone for the club as well. But we're leading by 2 goals. That should see the game out. 3-1 now, and that should surely do it. Betis did get a couple of late chances though. Right after João Felix gave us a 2-goal cushion, a chance to get back in the game. Great save by Jan Oblak, kept it to 3-1. And a warning sign there as Betis weren't going to throw in the towel. Out of 8 minutes to go, keeping the pressure on, looking for those late chances, but was going to be a little bit too late. Rober gets gets sent down the right hand side, gets it around Fran Garcia. It's a brilliant juke out as well, I must say. And eventually the ball's worked into Laborde, who makes it 3-2. Batiste cut the gap to 1. Brilliant piece of dribbling. I got done with Fran Garcia there. Lovely bit of skill, and Batiste back in the game. And I was thinking, okay, all right, keep your composure and you'll be all right. Just trying to pass the ball out, just trying to hold on to the ball. And with a minute to go here, Batiste will win the ball back, send it forward towards Sema, Rover down the right-hand side, has it intercepted, and that should do it. But I'm starting to panic. I'm starting to get nervous. And no, God, no. Oh, man. You know, in the last episode, I was talking about when the AI play that high press, if you keep your composure, if you keep your concentration, if you work the ball around them, you'll be able to go free. Oh man, this is what happens when you get it wrong. Yep, trying to pass out from the back. I got the ball back twice. I had 2 chances just to hoof it into touch in the end. Trying to pass the ball out and not just surrender possession. In the end, I did just that. Yep, gifted Batista level in stoppage time with Herrera. Offloaded to Laborde, who gets his second at the death. And Batiste come back from 2 goals down in the final 10 minutes to claim a point. Shocking, absolutely shocking, and completely threw it away. Bottled it, absolutely bottled it, man. Absolutely choked it. And again, I say this all the time, like you know, if you can work the ball behind the AI, then you're through, you're clear, it's over. And if you've got pacey forwards, which you most likely do, because it's FIFA, you're going to be through one-on-one. But there is this saying you're taught in junior football, and it might not apply to modern day footballers much nowadays, which is amazing how the game has changed and evolved over the years. Now, for those curious, I was born in 1992, so yes, I'm going to be turning 30 this year, still 29 just for now. I'm turning 30 in November for those curious. But when I used to play football, we were taught many simple phrases and simple tools, simple instructions that kind of stayed with me throughout all the time I played junior football. And I kind of accepted them as sort of gospel, as sort of truth. You know, one was that you never play the ball across your own area. Never. I mean, literally never. Like, you got scolded if you do that. Now, I used to play in goal, but of course, I had command of my back line. So, you know, like, seriously, for me, it was always a case of, if you can't find an open man, play it out of touch, like boot it out of touch. When in doubt, kick it out. It's one of those simple sayings we were taught. When in doubt, kick it out. You know, but obviously nowadays it's not like that at all. I mean, you look at the way that the game has evolved over the years, and nowadays, you know, teams are so possession heavy, and you know they just don't launch the ball long. You know, it's not very rarely would a team launch the ball long unless they're playing a crossfield or a diagonal or whatever. You know, yes, there is still a place for the modern day target man, or I should say the old school target man. You know, yes, there's still a place for, you know, Route 1 football at times, but it is a lot rarer, especially with the biggest teams now. The biggest teams and the best teams like to keep the ball on the ground, try and dominate possession as much as they can, and obviously conserving that ball, retaining that possession, and making sure you keep hold of it is far more valuable than surrendering possession by booting it out into touch, for example. And the way that the modern game has evolved over the years has been amazing to watch. It really has. Tactically, football has never been in a better and more advanced place. And it's funny because obviously, like, you know, again, I was born in the early 90s, and, you know, I sort of grew up on football in the late 90s and the noughties, if you will. And again, like, I often hear people talk about how, football was so much better back in my day. It was, you know, more passionate, it was more quality, it was just a better game to watch, it was more enjoyable, etc, etc, etc. I think it's a lot of nonsense, like, you know, I really do. And it's funny because you're a lot of pundits talk about a lot, you know, the golden era of football, the 80s to 90s. I think that's a lot of rubbish, like, really, like, I really do. Like, I watched football over the course of, you know, over 2 decades now, and I can literally tell you, hand on heart, with no doubt in my mind whatsoever, football has never had a higher amount of quality. Football has never been better. Football has never had a higher standard and a higher level and a more competitive level, and with better talent. Never. Absolutely never. And I mean every aspect of the game. Physical, mental, technical. No doubt about it. Football has never been of a higher quality. And I think we really need to dispel this myth that football was better back in the day. So I really don't believe it was. I think if you look at the quality of players and the quality of play, the quality of tactics, the advancement of tactics, systems, it really is a much more advanced game now. It's far more tactical, it's far more analytical. Yeah, some people can say that, you know, perhaps it's not got the old school feel to it. Sort of, you know, you roll your sleeves up, pull your socks up, kind of get stuck in, that kind of old school attitude. But I don't think football's ever been better because of those sort of things. Like, I really, really don't. And again, I was born in the early 90s. Yes, I'm nostalgic for the days of watching the classic Arsenal versus Man United, Vieira versus Keane, etc., etc. I'm sure some of you around my age also yearn for just one more game like that again. But I think we also have to be honest here. When you compare the quality of football 20 years ago, back to, again, like 2001, 2002, to what it is right now, I don't think anyone can deny that the quality of football we see, the implementation of tactics and the understanding and the knowledge of the game has never been better from players, coaches, managers alike. Sports science has come a long, long way as well. I really do feel we need to dispel this myth that football back in the 80s and 90s had a higher quality than now. I think it's an absolute load of rubbish, to be honest. But that will end today's episode of the Realistic Summer Career Mode, guys. Big fan for watching. If you have enjoyed, if you like, most of you all have a fantastic day on the back of back-to-back wins following the draw against Betis. We have, despite a slip-up, gone top for the first time ever on goal difference. Long way to go, though. Not even a third of the way through the season, but it remains a two-horse race between us and Barca. Have a great day, much love, and I'll see you for the next episode of the Realistic Summer Career Mode very soon.